The slides should be shuffling. Like Case's knuckles oh so often. All right.
Well, welcome all you assholes to the our live coverage of the draft. It got off to a rocky start. Hopefully things improve from here.
Yep. Sorry, that was me testing. We're good. We're good on all platforms now, my friends. Okay. Whew, yeah, there's a lot.
We got in before they finished the national anthem, so I think we're all in good shape here.
I believe so.
Who do we got? Who's our first guest today?
We're going to have one of the mods from Reddit NFL join us. Our NFL, sorry. I always get so formal and call it Reddit NFL. But I believe...
Is it Skepticism?
No, Skep isn't going to be our guy this time.
He said he might call in today. That's what I was thinking. He said he might call in for us later.
Yes, so. A bunch of the mods are threatening to call in. So that's good. Let's see here. Mr. JPEG, that's his name. He's a fresh new mod.
Yeah, he's a new mod.
He's a nice guy. He's very, very nice. But, I mean, when you're thinking about, having the mods join you, the real question is...
What's the difference?
Because they're all the same, right?
It's all just one account. It's all me. I just jump between accounts and do various things. So I resigned as a mod from RNFL, but I'm still actually all the mods on RNFL, just in case anyone was wondering.
Oh, man. So here it is. They've built a fake art museum in front of the Philly Art Museum for the stage of the NFL, whatever. It's just like them. And, boy, we're counting down a little more than 15 minutes to the start of the draft. And what do they get on the clock, Case? Do you remember? Is it 15 minutes?
It's either 10 or 15 in the first round. I don't remember, but we'll find out pretty shortly here.
Yeah,
sure. We're expecting the Lions pick will be somewhere in the neighborhood of is it 9:30 Eastern time or is it
10:32 Eastern?
10:32. I'm sorry, I'm translating everything to Central Time. I already screwed up once with that today by posting the wrong time that we were starting this. So
yes. Man.
You're in the Midwest coast.
The Midwest coast. Yes. And so if you're over here on the westy coast, the west is of the coast, this is it makes it 7:32 last time. So it should be in that area. These guys, if Cleveland goes for the full time on the first pick, I'm going to drive
and
over
they might.
like
it was a clear no-brainer. It was an absolute no-brainer to take Myles Garrett. And now today, it's hard to tell what's smokescreen and what's not, but it seems like there's a legit chance that they'll take Trubisky with the first overall pick, which is it. Just as they seem to be getting their shit together to do that, would be as Browns a move as possible. Taking a really bad future prospect first overall at quarterback when they have, the best defender in the draft right there for them. And they pick again at number 12 where they could get one of a few quarterbacks who are more or less, everybody has their guys that they think are good. There's Watson, there's Mahomes, Trubisky, and everybody has the one that they think is going to be the guy, but there's going to be at least one, if not two, or even three of those guys available at the number 12 pick. And here they might end up taking one with the first overall pick. So,
yeah, this is going to be interesting. And
I mean, they really did make it interesting for us. So I appreciate that because otherwise these first few picks might have been boring. But
yeah, for sure. And I do want to say thank you, everyone, at the beginning for putting up with a little bit of technical information. It was very kind of you to let us kind of survive.
And thanks for letting me know that we were live, so I wasn't just
Yeah, we had a little fuckery afoot in the beginning, but it's okay now. We're all good. All right, so it looks like 8:15 we're going to have Adios from the RNFL moderator team come talk to us. As we kick off, he's going to talk about a couple of things that are going on over there, a couple of important things. And this is a big blend this year. As a lot of you guys, most of you guys, I think all of you guys know, really, we kicked off the new podcast, the one for RNFL. And we invited all our new friends from there to join us for the for the draft party here, and so it's kind of going to be a little bit of a both. We want to make sure we do kind of broadly talk about the NFL, and I think there's a lot of that to talk about because the Lions aren't picking to 21, but we also do want to make sure that we play and are concerned with our good friends who listen to us in the Detroit Lions podcast. They're the first of our crew, and they've been so wonderful in supporting us and getting us up and running to get us to where we are today. So we'll start off with a huge thank you to all you guys. You're the bombest of the bombs. Let's see, lots going on here. I'm looking at this.
I'm expecting we're expecting on the side of this being NFL related, not just Lions related. We are still expecting, even if the Browns pull, a quarterback in the first year, we are expecting, the vast majority of the early picks here to be defense. There's some edge rushers, safeties, cornerbacks, that kind of thing that are likely to all go in the top 10. And there isn't, aside from maybe one or two quarterbacks and maybe one or two running backs, and here now I'm getting up to a number where it's about 50-50. But anyway, in the top 10, I would expect that at least 7 of the picks would be defense. We'll see if some teams prove me wrong there. But that's where the talent in this draft is. Yep. It's a defense-heavy draft. We've been hearing that for months. That should play out in the first round significantly, with a few offensive players here and there. But for the most part, we'll be seeing lots and lots of defense.
Okay, we got a question from the live chat. This is a new thing, and I'll just kind of let you know, and I'm probably going to say this a couple of times, and I'm just making excuses for my stupidity, guys. I've literally, like with the TV and the iPads, and I'm not even actually counting my phone, I've got 8 different screens in front of me as we do this, and I'm kind of a tech nerd behind, and I'm making sure that I have a way and understand how all this works. But my son, and once we get this figured out from this point forward, is going to be the production guy and help us out with a lot of that kind of stuff. But the first time, I've got to do it. So we'll go with that. But question from David Guel, I guess. I'm going to murder your name. I'm sorry. David G. How about that? We'll hit the G spot. He's saying that the Bears are talking about trading down, and he wants to know our opinion. Now, for me, I'm going to say straight up that I think that would be a mistake because they need a quarterback. Mike Glennon is not the guy to carry that team. And, since about 1961, they've had quarterback problems. I don't think it's a wise move. Then again, this isn't a great year for quarterbacks. So
right,
go ahead, man.
Exactly.
I'll let you kind of weigh in on it.
No, I mean, if I was in the Bears' position, I mean, trading down, it depends on how far down they go. Because, again, I said, there are those 3 quarterbacks who could all go in the first round. And chances are, even if they traded down, they might have a good shot at scoring one of those guys. And meanwhile, picking up extra picks. In my opinion, I'd much rather have them sit where they are. From a Lions fan perspective, I'd much rather have them sit where they are and take a quarterback, because I think that's I think that the chances of those guys panning out aren't fantastic. But if I was a Bears fan, I think I would be happy with them trying to trade down. Now, I mean, who they're going to trade with is, the obvious question. Because, I mean, everybody wants to trade down every year. This is, I mean, probably fans of every team in the league have heard some kind of rumor that the team was looking to trade down. But it's not going to happen much in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens a couple times in the first round, but that would be the most. And so everybody who's hoping for their team to trade down is probably going to be disappointed. But, we'll see. Some crazy stuff might happen. Teams have thirst for quarterbacks. I mean, that's no lie. They're really, like, as much as the 3 guys and beyond aren't necessarily the greatest quarterback class there's ever been, the thirst is there. Like, it every single year. We had Jared Goff go last year first overall for a king's ransom. That got traded, that pick, and that's just absurd. So something equally as absurd could happen this year. I mean, that was predicted ahead of time, but who knows what'll happen here? Who knows what the Browns will do with the number 1 pick? If the Browns take a quarterback number 1, the Bears might feel extra pressure to take a quarterback where they're sitting at number 4. So
There's so
Who
much,
knows?
so much. So good question. Ken made me laugh in the live chat with isn't a great year for quarterbacks unless you're Minnesota because you got number 1 pick Sam Bradford.
I did hear, they are not extending, or they're not picking up the 5th-year option on Bridgewater,
Yep.
Which isn't really a surprise given that, they don't really know how he'll bounce back from his injury.
The thing about that is, though, basically it's like they extended his contract without any sort of commitment, no monetary commitment. I think it's called, the word is it tolls, meaning the 4th year, this would have been his 4th year, I believe, and he will be in his 4th year of his contract next year, as long as he starts on the PUP and doesn't come to play. So they'll have the option to extend it for his 5th year.
That's interesting. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's a good play for them. I hope he comes back. I'm not a big, as a Lions guy, I've said it, I'm not a huge fan of him, but I want to beat him on the field. That's my thing. I want Minnesota to feel the shame of thinking he was a great quarterback.
He's funny because everyone's like, everyone treats the guy like he's like a Mother Teresa type figure. Like it's absolutely tragic that, and it is. I mean, it is like it sucks to see a kid who's coming along get sidelined by something that he didn't. It wasn't like he made a mistake or anything like that. So it does suck. But he's probably. They find themselves in a tough situation after this year. If Sam Bradford plays at about the same level he did and Teddy comes along, they're still in a very difficult situation trying to sort out who's better. I've heard people on both sides of the argument make their cases for their one guy or the other guy being the better long-term option for them. Ultimately, I'm not sure that either is going to, take them to the promised land, though. Sam Bradford will probably ultimately have he got through one season here fully healthy, but that's I don't think that can be counted on long term. Teddy, obviously, even if he returns to the form he was before his gruesome injury, his ceiling might be a little limited, and I might have some Vikings fans upset with me for saying that, but he doesn't have the look of a real franchise quarterback, and he could easily prove me wrong there. I've been proven wrong more times than I care to remember, but it's certainly. Yeah. Also, we were talking early on. I don't know how many people were listening, but we weren't sure how many minutes each team gets. It's 10 minutes on the clock for each team. So as soon as the Browns start, they'll have 10 minutes theoretically. Now they could easily run their pickup right away if they haven't figured out if they need that 10 minutes to see if anybody's calling for the first overall pick. They might take that, but it'll be 10 minutes per pick through the first round.
Awesome. So now we've had a question come in from the live chat. Which coverage are you going to watch, Case?
I'm watching it on... What am I watching now? I'm watching it on ESPN.
Excellent. Okay. I am too. I watched it on the NFL Network last year, and when we were doing this, you guys kept coming up with everything like 45 seconds before I did. So I sit down with that.
Well,
I'm going to watch ESPN.
Let me see if I can... I don't have NFL Network. Let me see if I can find a stream though, and maybe I can.
Oh no! Don't waste your bandwidth. I can put on the NFL Network here. That's fine.
Sure, you do that, and I'll do this, and we'll have our bases covered. And...
All right, there it is. All right, I'm gonna.
And you'll tell me we picked Njoku about 45 seconds before we didn't actually, just to fuck with me. So. That was the big discussion today. I was listening to Jeff Risdon, our good friend, on the ESPN radio in Detroit for a good chunk of the day today. That was the conversation that kept coming up over and over and over again, was whether or not the Lions would take Njoku in first and why that was a terrible thing. And I mean, there are arguments to be made, and they're not terrible arguments for why it's not the worst pick that's ever been made. But holy crap, if there's ever been a pick that would be like that would have fans rioting in the streets, it would be that one. I mean, we'll turn into the Jets, fans real fast if that happens. we kind of bracing ourselves, hoping it doesn't happen. But there's this little thing in the back of your head that says maybe that's what they're going to do. maybe Bob Quinn is going to mortgage all this good faith he's built up amongst the fan base on this particular draft.
Sure.
God, we hope not.
Had a great call, or a great thing come across the live chat just now. Joshua. I'm just gonna say Joshua C. Although I can pronounce his last name. I don't know if people want their names to go out there, so I'm just gonna try to be a little cool about it. Joshua C. says, "So you guys gonna have Blandino on? I hear he has some free time."
Free time, yeah.
Last I heard, Case was saying,
God, I love that kid.
so we'll see how that works out. Oh man.
Skepticism is survival is listening. He said he's going to fight me about my comments on Teddy Bridgewater. So.
All right. So of the 62 LA teams, which has the most to gain from this draft? Well, I don't think the Rams are going to pick anything up because they've rolled down, but I think the Chargers have some opportunity here.
Skep, we can fight about it when you call in. So.
Yeah, what about you? For the 307 teams that are now in LA, who do you think has the most to gain there, Case?
It really, God, it's the Rams to me are like so far behind the ball right now that it's hard to see any one pick. It's hard to see anything they do in this draft really making a huge impact on their season.
They don't even draft till 37th overall.
The Rams don't. I was looking at where they picked.
It's bad. So look, they have a lot to gain because they're so bad,
right?
but they're picking so far down the wire, and they've still got Jared Goff at the helm there. They're just not going to get anything out of it. I really don't think they are. I think the Chargers have a more to gain out of it. So we'll see.
Well, but the Chargers are that raises the question. They're one of those teams that's they could potentially be looking at one of the quarterbacks in the first round, depending on who falls beyond the early picks. Because I mean they're sitting at 7. They might have their pick of any of the quarterbacks in the draft, and the writing seems to be a little bit on the wall for Rivers, and obviously things could change in that regard quickly, but he certainly didn't seem, prior to their move to LA, he said, things that he didn't really want to go anywhere else. So now that they're in LA, how much time he wants to spend with the team is questionable, and whether or not he would retire or just, not play for the Chargers anymore, that's a good question. I'd probably suggest that he's more likely to just retire. He is getting up there. He's been around a long time. He still looks young, but I would be surprised if he has the kind of longevity that Tom Brady or Drew Brees has. So.
For sure. Cracking the first drink of the draft for me. 10 seconds now till the draft begins. And I got a little wood, dude. I'm really excited. This is it. We are finally here. And 1-0, and you're going to see, if you're watching and you have a DVR, you might want to delay. It's about a 15-second delay on the stream till you hear what we see. But it's live. They're rolling the front roll in the thing. The Cleveland Browns are up with pick number 1, and I don't know if they've started the clock yet, or if Goodell has to go out in front of their mock-up of the art museum that's behind them. And
they'll probably make an announcement. I'm not seeing the time running down on the clock on the NFL website yet.
So what are you drinking tonight, Case? What are you?
I've got Elysium Space Dust IPA right now. I know that nobody really cares exactly what I'm drinking, but I'm drinking IPAs tonight. That's it. That's all you need to know.
It's part of having a party. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, we got over there, man. So,
I'm trying to take it easy because I had the day off today after a long stretch of days on, and had some drinks this morning, and
it's a
pretty hardcore nap this afternoon.
It's a two-drunk day, Case. What do you mean? You can get to it. I used to fly to Europe for work all the time, and I could get drunk at least 2 times, sometimes 3 separate times on that flight. It was
there you
glorious.
Go. That's the way to fly too, because it goes so much faster.
Yeah, get drunk, pass out. Wake up, get drunk, pass out. Wake up, get drunk, deep.
Oh, I hate flying. I really hate flying.
I'm actually going with Jaeger bombs. I got my Jaeger here, and I got an energy drink, and It's
In case anyone was wondering how old you are, you drink Jager bombs. So
yeah, in a tumbler.
they are not en vogue anymore.
No. Oh no, they're delicious.
Yeah.
It's
Speaking as a bartender for many years, they once upon a time they were a pretty hot commodity, but
they're still
people
pretty
seem
hot
to
around
move away.
the Chris household. I tell you what, I love these things. Especially the nice part about it is on something like what we're doing here. You know, you have to. I can't just kind of drink and get all tiredly, drinky, passy outy. You know what I mean? That would be bad. So this kind of gives you a little boost, and then I can have a couple of these, and then roll into my old favorite. I've got a fridge full of a Bavarian Hefeweizen, excuse me. And
Yeah, I like Hefeweizen.
It's a Francis Connor, which is literally the second best beer in the world behind Andex, but they don't export Andex, so I'm stuck with it.
It looks like things are about to kick off here. Real quick before they do, I just want to let them know that what you told me, we don't have it going today, but starting in the regular season in our post game shows, we're probably gonna have some live webcam feeds going, which just kind of add another element to our show when that kicks off.
Yes, that's future stuff. Is that what you said? Sorry, I've got like I said, 8 screens going. Yeah, so yeah, that's some of the stuff we're looking for, and that's some of the stuff. Oh God, I can't remember. One of the guys, was it John, brought up doing a live streaming preseason games. We talked about maybe a companion podcast, changing up, maybe doing a game of the week after the Lions game where we would do live things, and then multiple cameras. We can't broadcast the game unfortunately because they'd shut our YouTube channel down, and that would wreck all the fun, but. Cameras on us, and again, have ways for folks to do the production, so we can do multi-cam shots and all that kind of stuff. So some really, really cool stuff going on. Hey, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to ask. Okay, I'm going to do something here just to test it out. But if you guys, when you get a chance and you're on the website, just turn off your ad blocker really quick and click on one of those ads for us. We're not allowed to ask,
I'm looking at Mel Kiper. It looks like he got a haircut. I can't really. Oh, maybe he's just losing hair. His hair doesn't look quite as wild as it usually does. Our stellar commentary so far here, but
not kidding, John. Maybe I'll take a shot of the glass. It's like a pint glass. It's like an English pint glass. It's from Stone Brewing. And I just pour it to the top. Well, not top with Jägermeister, but I make a good dark mix of Jaeger and energy drink. It's good for you. Oh, Pliny is very good, Randall. I love some Pliny, but
yeah, me too.
Jim, I will. But for the long haul, right? Pliny is awesome. It's hard to get. But if I'm going to have a good night of Bender thinking or Bender drinking, I'm going with my Francis Connor. Okay, it's a 10-minute clock. They're getting ready to do the announcement. Jim, I think that should help the audio for you. Really quick before they do the announcement, I'm going to try something here, and we'll see how this works.
Sorry. There we go.
All right, so some folks are seeing an ad right now, and I apologize to those guys. I'll apologize when they get back as well. I'm just testing the technology, but you got Goodell walking up, and fuck you, Goodell. Oh, I want to hear this a little bit, how they're treating him.
Oh, he's getting the full treatment here.
Oh, good. All right. Oh, he's yeah. I gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to play that ad on you. I apologize. Some of you saw an ad.
You're not watching the draft. Goodell's getting booed, mercilessly, and he said, come on, bring it on, Philly. So that for sure, I can respect. Like he's as far as like scapegoats go for all the terrible things. Like there could. I'm not necessarily a Goodell fan. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I think he's part of the problem in some areas. But overall, I think they could do a lot worse for a commissioner. No matter who's in that job, they're going to look like a bad guy. So.
But he's the full knuckle. I mean, he's the full knuckle. The only place that I think would maybe give him worse treatment is Boston.
Yeah. I don't think we'll have the draft in Boston while he's
alive.
Okay, they are officially on the clock. We're counting down 5 seconds down here into their time. They've got actually, I'm looking at different screens. They're about 20 seconds in from where I'm looking now. And they haven't run their pick up yet. So that suggests to me that they're either they're not sure what they're doing, or they're trying to see if anybody will trade up, which is highly unlikely that anyone would trade up in this particular draft. But
so put your money down. Who are they taking?
I mean, they've got to be taking Myles Garrett, right? They absolutely have to be taking Myles Garrett.
But what about all the Trubisky talk?
Well, it's they've got to take him. It's oh God, I feel so bad. I hate the Cleveland Browns, but we won't get into that with a whole lot of people who aren't used to listening to us. But I hate the Cleveland Browns. But I would actually feel bad for their fans if that happened. So.
All right. Well, there they are. They look like they know what they're doing, right? What's that kid doing in the background?
Trubisky looks a little like Couch.
What's that dude? The little kid in the back right. What's he got, a coloring book? He's making the pick. I guarantee it. Risden said they had a homeless guy make a pick for him once. Why wouldn't the little kid do it?
Yeah. A minute and a half in, still no pick.
This is always exciting to get the first one in, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what teams had the most first number one picks in the draft.
I don't want to know because I'm afraid I know what the answer would be.
I want to know. I'll own it if it's.
It might be the Rams, honestly.
Yeah.
I suppose it would obviously not be one of the newer teams. So the Browns wouldn't be I would be amazed if it was the Browns, just because I mean, it depends on which Browns you're talking, but I mean, they were gone for a large chunk of time, so.
Yeah.
He did get a haircut. He used to look so crazy. Now he looks less crazy.
Well, he's got that on you, bud.
Myles Garrett, come on. It's so easy. It is so easy, Browns. It really is. There's not, you don't need to think here.
Well, that's the problem, though,
so
right?
Thirsty.
So many teams overthink when they think this, right? And then the pressure comes in at the end when it's time to make that pick, and then they just gargle razor blades. I mean, they choke. Yeah, you're right, Joshua. I'm going off an NFL Network because they're behind ESPN again. I'm not making this mistake 2 years in a row, my friend. Let's see. Oh, we got Glenny Pick staying up in England to watch the draft. Yeah, the bookies have us taking Njoku, and I'm not.
Well, and I mean, I've seen a lot of different things, and I've heard a lot of different things. There's been a lot of talk of, is it Corey Coleman? I'm sorry, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Corey Coleman. There's been a lot of talk there to add, a big-bodied receiver on the outside. That would, yeah, I mean, it'd kick Tate inside, and it would be something interesting. Obviously, as we were talking about a couple nights ago, on the regular podcast, he's got focus drop issues, which is, again, that's what we worry about with Ibra this whole time, is the focus drops. And they worked so hard for a little while there at getting Stafford the sure-handed receivers, and it helped. And then something wonky happened this last year, but I feel like the last thing they need is another receiver with questionable hands. So
yeah. So we got a couple good ones coming in on the live chat here. First, John N. calling the Browns trolls. They're trolling. That's absolutely probably correct. And then First Last, this is great. He's got two pieces. One, the Browns are deciding between C and D on a true and false question.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's a shame the first pick will have a ruined first season. I have a feeling that Myles Garrett right now is suffering from Stockholm syndrome. He knows they're his captors, and they're going to be my friends. I like them. They're not. He's completely talked himself into the Browns. But you're
well. I mean, if
right.
he doesn't go to the Browns, he's going to the 49ers. So it's basically picking poison, right? I mean.
That's the terrible part about being good in college, being the best.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay, so on my clock right now, and Sean, I'm going to tell you, there is a delay on the YouTube stream of about 15 seconds. So as I kind of count this down a little bit, it's going to be off, but I'm at 40, 39,
Yeah, I meant this exact same. So we're at least you and I are on the same page. That helps. But
yeah, but you guys, like I said, you're gonna be about 15 seconds behind, so I apologize that. Got Punk Rock and Trev. The Browns are trading number 1 to the Chiefs for an egg salad sandwich, and that's from a fan of a team who drafted a waffle. So, oh man,
I'll be interested to see where the obviously with the Lions in mind, but just in general, I'll be interested to see where the linebackers go in this draft. Not typically considered a strong linebacker draft, but there are 3 guys, and maybe more, but there are 3 guys pretty for sure that'll go in the first round in Reddick and Gerard Davis and Reuben Foster.
Pick is in. The pick is now in. So
okay, so it didn't take him the full 10 minutes. That's something. Maybe somebody called. Maybe they called to every other team in that 5 minutes they were waiting, 6 minutes they were waiting, and nobody wanted to do anything. So
they were just staring at the phone. No, Mom, to get off the line. It's not. I can't talk now. Oh man, it would be like Mom to call right then, right?
Yeah.
All right, so pick is in.
Okay, come on.
Waiting.
Just do Miles Garrett and let's get this over with here.
The Peppers question is a good one, Mr. Young.
How do we feel about him? Is that the question?
Where will he finally land?
I have a feeling he's fallen into the second round myself, but it could be that he goes to Green Bay, which isn't my favorite thing because they have do a good job of kind of role playing their defensive their non defensive line players. I mean, even their defensive line players. I mean, they've got a good flexible 3-4 system where they can do all kinds of different things. So that the thought of him going there doesn't necessarily thrill me, but I would prefer that to him going to Detroit. So
yes,
myself, at least in the first round. If he were to fall to us in the second, which obviously is incredibly unlikely, but if that were to happen, that would be pretty sweet. Hopefully they'd be able to find some way to use him or maybe even trade him. But here we go. Here we go. The Browns selection being announced.
Oh boy, this is exciting.
Oh, they did it. Okay, they did the smart thing. Boy, whew. Sweating my ass off over here. Okay, yes, they took Myles Garrett. I can continue hating the Cleveland Browns.
Maybe they'll trade with the Niners and do the 1-2 punch.
Now the Niners are already down to 7.5 minutes on their clock. Right. So
we missed a call. May have been from Adios. I will.
If you're listening, try again.
Yeah, give it another shot. Again, I got 8 screens of love going on here, so I apologize if I miss a call. But you guys, if you wanna join the show, you can either give us a ring via the plain old telephone system at 248-782-8384, or you can give us a call via Skype, and it's to Detroit Lions Podcast. It's all one word. You'll find us on there, Detroit Lions Podcast, and we'll figure out. There he is. Look at that. That is truly a case of Stockholm Syndrome. I've never seen someone that happy about joining the Browns.
You'd have to pay me about as much as he's going to make to go to Cleveland. So
just to visit, like for a weekend. Can't wait till we get Riz on to mention that part. Oh man,
I'm updating the official draft thread on.
Ooh, there's a rumor coming across Twitter that they're grabbing Manziel. He's coming back. A different timeline, sorry.
Right. The darkest timeline.
Oh man. Let's see here. Okay, we got a lot of good stuff here. Let's see. Maybe it was just someone leaving a voice message. We'll give it a play. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this case, but let's just see what they say.
Okay.
Hey, this is Matt from Reddit. Adios. I'll try back in a minute.
It is.
Bye.
Oh. The 49ers traded their pick to the Bears. What is going on, Bears?
What the hell?
What is going on, Bears? You moved up one spot, Bears. What is going on? There's 5 minutes left on there. 5.5 minutes left on the Bears clock.
They're taking Trubisky.
Oh my God. Not only, oh God. I'm sorry to any Bears fans listening, but this could be an absolute disaster. How much do you give up to go from the number 3 spot to the number 2 spot? I don't even know what round. I don't even know what round they give up.
This is how you continue to draft in the first 3 positions time after time.
Oh my God.
Woo, boy, I'm glad you saw that. I was looking down. Oh my goodness.
Got 5 minutes and the pick isn't in yet. Assumedly they know who they're taking if they moved up. Like they didn't just move up and then.
All right. Well, we're waiting for the pick to come in. Just a quick preview. We're going to have a couple guys. We're going to have Bryce, who did a great article on why the Lions might be picking a tight end. We got a call coming. Adios is going to be here. Let's bring him in. Adios. How you doing, my man? Hello, Adios. He's here. I think his mic's not broken. Oh, there it is.
Sure. You here?
He's here.
You heard?
He's got to fix his mic. He's
okay.
Skyped in. So go ahead and do tools options and work on that microphone real quick, Adios. And once we hear you, we'll I'm
trying to update the I'm trying to type and do this at the same time. I'm updating the draft thread in the Lions sub here. So hang on a sec. I'm going mute for just a second here.
Sure thing, for sure. I'm very interested in this pick for the Bears. I would love to see what's going on in the subreddit right now. If somebody in the live chat wants to go check in and see their reaction to this amazing trade call. Again, I'm not sure that was probably the move that I would have made, but these are all talented professionals that are GMs in the NFL. So maybe. And we haven't heard the details at all yet that I can tell so far as to what the Bears gave up to move up here. Yeah, they're all talented professionals. So they got about 3 minutes left, a little more than 3 minutes. To talk really quick, Bryce is coming. We have Dan coming, another one of our great writers, Dan Lewis. Zach is going to be in. He's one of our guys. He's working and mentoring under Riz. He wants to be a scout. He's also a writer for us. Brandon Knapp, Brandon the Temp, formerly Brandon the Intern. He'll be joining us at 10 o'clock. At 10:30, we've got the, immutable, Ash Thompson, Ash Crack, also known as. He'll be joining us as well. And then a couple other folks. But adios. We still can't hear you, man. Let's see what you can do about that mic. And literally just jump in when you get a chance, and we'll make it all work. So 2.5 minutes left on the Bears. I don't understand why they're taking so long to put their pick in. We just lost Adios, didn't we? Yes. Okay. Try it again if you get it sorted out, man. I'm gonna answer. It's gonna put you on hold, so hold on a minute. Adios.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Let me see if I can add Case into this call now, and
excellent,
make it all better. Yeah, man. Thanks for calling. So we're
my pleasure.
We're in the midst of watching what could be a tragedy for Chicago, trading up one position in the draft. They got 1:50 left of their pick. That's an interesting choice, isn't it?
If they were to trade up and then miss the pick, I would be really excited. That would just be amazing. I really don't like what they gave up, though, to San Francisco. That one hurts a little. Yeah, that's going to be a tragedy. Let's see. I got Case I'm going to try to add, but let's talk about. You want to talk a little bit on behalf of the RNFL mods. There's some great stuff going on in the subreddit here. You guys have put together some pretty kick-ass stuff for this draft. You want to talk about it a little bit, man? Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how excited I've been for this over the last few days as we're putting this all together. I've done literally nothing on it except throwing together a couple of small threads today. So I'm not going to toot my own horn on this at all, but the other mods have gotten together and just put together just an unbelievable program. For every draft pick, at least through the first 2 rounds and possibly deep into the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and on, we've got sports cards that we're doing for all of the players. And those are generated on the fly, live, made for the pick the players drafted at, with their stats, with the team that's drafting them. It is top to bottom just an unbelievable program. With just our designers are doing fantastic work on that, which is just so cool to watch.
Yeah, it really, really looks hot. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff you guys have been doing in the background, and you guys, this is gonna be sharp. This is really, really sharp. Let me pop open the Myles Garrett one right now. You can see it if you guys go to nfl.reddit.com. It's literally, I mean, it's like a trading card, right? And
yeah, and here, one of the coolest things they've done is we've actually created an insert, if you will, if you've ever collected sports cards. So one out of, I believe the odds are 1 in every 48 players are going to get an insert where instead of the team colors, they're going to get this really cool gold design that they've got going on. And it's totally random. We don't even know who's going to get them, but it's going to be amazing, basically. I'm so excited.
Let me really
sorry to jump in here real quick,
Yeah.
but while I was out for a second there, you guys missed me saying "oh my god" about 100 times. Oh my god. The Bears. Oh my god.
Oh, dude. I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm right there with you. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
I mean, I'm glad that the run on quarterback started in terms of the Lions benefiting from it. But oh my God, they moved up, and I still haven't heard. I'm not sure if details were released on what the Bears gave up to move up a spot there. But oh my God.
Oh, like 4 picks. I think it was number 3, number 67. I saw a couple other numbers there. Yeah, it's like 4 picks. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. Good friend Angry Caveman.
Yeah, jaw to floor. What the heck?
He's just shitting bricks right now. Oh my God.
That's great.
This,
man,
that could go down. This could go down. I mean, it's not like the Rams moving up for Jared Goff bad, probably, but this could be really bad. Like this could destroy the Bears for a long time. if he doesn't work out, which I don't think most of us are predicting he will. This is a Matt Millen level move.
Wow. I'm Case, now that you're not overstating. Are you sure? Because
I don't think so.
Calling it a
honestly,
Matt
I don't
Millen
think
level.
That is cold.
That is insulting. All right, so we now have the Niners up. They got about 6 minutes left, and sorry to cut in on that. We're going to be bouncing in and out of some of the draft pick stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, for sure. Cheers to the Bears fans, and wow. Let's so those cards. I'm gonna go back to those.
I'm really sorry.
Those cards are just great. Have you seen those, Case? Have you popped in and taken a look at those? Anyone who hasn't, just take a quick ride by nfl.reddit.com, our NFL, and check it out. It's really, I mean, this, you guys, and I saw a couple of you guys were putting these together. It was a group effort amongst the mods. This is great stuff. This is really top quality work. So hats off to you guys for sure.
Yeah, I'm so proud of all of them. It's been, frantic over the last few. I mean, we started this, I believe, Monday or Tuesday even. It was a spur of the moment. One of the mods was like, why not have trading cards? And they were like, okay, let's run with that. And they did, and they've pulled it off so far. I mean, first pick's pretty easy to knock out of the park. You got a pretty good idea what it is. But as I said, they're all generated procedurally. So it's on the fly what we have going on.
Amazing.
And, it may go wrong. I have no idea. I guess we'll see. But it's fascinating. It's cool. I'm not a designer by any means. I'm not a coder. And so to be able to see this all pulled off and kind of the workings of it has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and it's totally unique. It's not anything I've seen anywhere else. It's very, very good work. Now, let's talk a little bit about that. When you start talking about design and some of the other stuff going on, I've noticed in the last couple of days there's been a communication from the mods about some of the design of the site and how things are looking. And Reddit, the admins, are making some change that affect not just our NFL, but every subreddit, right?
Yeah, it's something that's going to be pretty big coming up. We have a pretty strong stance. Basically, what's happening is Reddit is moving away from CSS, which is a design language that helps make our subreddit as cool as it is. We're pretty proud of the uniqueness that we've created. We are one of the largest subs that have created a lot of really cool designs. And the steps they're going, we don't know what they are. We hope they're going to be great. And we really just want to be part of that conversation because we want to have a unique subreddit that lets us do all these really cool things that we've been doing with design over the years.
It largely credit to Napoleon Bonaparte's because
Napoleon Bonaparte kills it. She is
from day
unbelievable.
One,
I love her to death
for a long time. Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, she stepped in about 5 years ago and said, you know what, I want to do a big change here. And she threw herself to the wolves there. The first one was not well received, and at first, it was very much she, thought she had ruined the sub, and there was a lot of backlash, and we, stood behind her. I wasn't a mod at the time, but the mod stood behind her and said, no, we support you. We believe in this. This is phenomenal.
And
you have the bones here of something great.
She took some of the constructive criticism that was out there as opposed to, just the, nastiness and made some adjustments. And after the adjustments were made, everyone kind of realized, oh, wait, this is really actually damn good. So,
yeah. And it was just beautiful as soon as that second version came out. And since then, she's just hit the ground running. I mean, she's done stuff where, for the opening of the season, for instance, every single team gets their own matchup on the top of the screen. And that's all the CSS design that she does that pulls straight from the individual flares that people have for their team. And so, I mean, without the CSS, that kind of stuff, as far as we know, goes away. Reddit says they're going to create widgets for that. We don't know what those are. We hope they can do the same stuff, but the uniqueness that she's created is really something fresh and beautiful, and it's scary to lose that chance of having those great things created still.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so really quick, just want to say the pick is in for San Francisco. ESPN's at a break, so we'll be seeing that very, very shortly.
Probably looking at Solomon Thomas would be my guess.
Yep. And just for the folks that aren't quite sure what we're talking about, there's some changes going on at Reddit that are going to affect the subreddits, not just Detroit Lions subreddit, but the NFL subreddit, every subreddit on Reddit. And there's a little bit of a call to action that they want to have about this. This is Adios, Sean, the mod from our NFL, who's kind of they're grouping up a lot of the different sports subs to kind of talk about what try to help the admins make some good choices along the way, so that they can give the best user experience possible. And as we're waiting for this pick to come in here, they're going to get ready to announce it. So let's
Goodell
stay
is
with
about
the
to walk
draft.
out on stage here.
And let's get some booze in here on Goodell really quick and hear what we get for a pick. Oh, that's
Jaguars
great.
have 8 minutes left on the clock.
They're destroying him. I love it.
He's not a liked man.
No.
Here it is. Yep, Solomon Thomas.
Yeah.
Good call there, Case.
Well, it's easy to sound brilliant at this moment in the draft. Well, I should say I expected I didn't expect the Bears to trade down. I expected the 49ers to take Solomon Thomas with the number 2 pick.
You seem relieved that they took Myles Garrett up front,
San Francisco. San Francisco, they just got away with murder here to move down a pick and get the best guy on the board, plus some extra picks. That's absolutely they just won the draft right now, assuming that the rest of their picks are even remotely good.
Yeah, the Bears are being wheeled off on a gurney right now.
I mean, honestly, I don't mean to pick on a division rival more than I normally would, but holy shit, that was something
real bad. Well, you got to wonder who else was in that bidding war. I mean, is Trubisky suddenly that much of a hot prospect that you've got 3-4 teams
real, man.
number
Thirst
2?
is real. They need those quarterbacks. I didn't expect it to actually happen this year, but it did.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was wild. I don't know who else was in on that. Maybe the Browns were trying to shop number 12.
That was what I was wondering too. Were the Browns trying to get the number 1 and number 2 pick? I don't know, but
I know they've been talked about as number 5 with Tennessee a bunch, but
now see the Jaguars are in an interesting position here because a quarterback they were in position to take Leonard Fournette, the running back. That's who pretty much everyone had him mocked for, but now they've got options here. Malik Hooker and a couple other defensive players are in play for them as like blue chippers. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually do, because they need a running back, but they don't necessarily need to take one this early.
For sure.
I mean, it would benefit the Lions, I guess, if they took a running back here. The more defensive players that slip a little bit would be nice. But this is an interesting pick for me, because they suddenly have a bit of a dilemma on their hands where they didn't necessarily have one before.
For sure. All right, so let's get to the call to action really quick. The Jags pick is in. What is it that users can do to help you guys out with the changes to the look and feel and kind of the homogenization of all the subreddits look? What is it that users can do to help you guys out as the mods of the our NFL subreddit?
Well, we got on our sidebar, we've got this big old pretty photo that, again, Napoleon Bonaparte's put together, and she put it up there. It's got, it kind of gives you a kind of a brief rundown. It links to our announcement, our kind of press release, if you will, on how we feel about the CSS change and where our thoughts lie. And then there's also a link to the conversation deeper in with the admin, Sody Pop, who is she had I think it's a she, but they talked about their position as well, and kind of just a little back and forth between the mods and Sody Pop on where we stand on everything. And so, I mean, it's definitely, with the open forum of Reddit, it allows people to go in and have that conversation with Sody and kind of just, say, you stand with us, and this is something that's important with you, and that you've enjoyed what we've offered to users throughout the years of Reddit through our design and all the, cool things we've done with that.
For sure. All right, so hey, Adios, we're gonna roll here. I really appreciate you calling in, and this is important stuff. You guys are gonna see more of it in the subreddit, RNFL. It may, I think, some of our Lions fans, you'll see that bleed into our subreddit as well.
Yeah, it'll affect if they do get rid of the CSS, the gorgeous work that Icebreak and some of the other guys have done on the Lions subreddit is going to unfortunately go the way of the dodo on us. But
and Riz is going to be coming in pretty shortly here. Josh, we're looking, I hope I can call you Josh instead of Joshua. We're looking at him around pick number 10 and onward. He may be a little extra fun because I think he's going to have been drinking, so we'll do that. Adios, I'm going to let you fly.
I was listening to him drink all day, which has led me to drink all day.
I'm going to let you fly. I've got another guy that is due to join the call right now. Okay, bud?
Not a worries. You all have a good one.
All right, thanks.
Hey, take it easy.
You too, man.
Go Hawks.
All right.
Yeah. The Chicago Bears subreddit is absolutely blowing up.
Yep. On fire, they say.
This is there's a little bit of Schadenfreude here. I'm not gonna lie.
Just a little, huh?
I'm gonna enjoy perusing that later.
Hello.
Hey, Bryce, how you doing? Welcome to the show, man.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, guys. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, sure can. All right,
good deal.
So
how about the Bears?
Woo!
Yeah, how about those?
Oh, we're coming out here soon to see the Jags. Got Goodell walking out.
The Jaguars pick here, but yeah, no, absolutely. We the Bears pick was something special.
The Boos are out in force. I love it.
The Pardon My Take guys retweeted a Mitch Trubisky tweet from about 2 years ago that said, "Woo, fuck yeah, go Packers."
Yeah,
Fournette.
So that
Jaguars selected. Oh, sorry to jump in real quick. Jaguars selected Leonard Fournette, the running back. I'm not surprised. I did think that maybe they would broaden their horizons, given that they had another option on the blue chippers on defense. But they picked up what has been called, and I don't know that I necessarily agree, a generational talent in Leonard Fournette. It's seen by some as the next Adrian Peterson or that kind of thing. So
he's going to play for the Saints.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. All right, so now that the Jags are in, this is going to be where it gets a little bit interesting, because we've got the Tennessee Titans coming up, and they got this pick from the Rams, which is why the Rams aren't picking to the second round, and they've been entertaining a number of offers, it is rumored, for folks who want to trade up. Now, with the Chicago move, taking some stuff earlier, this may be even a... It depends who you are. This may be a hotter spot to try to grab. So I would not be surprised. Nope. Oh yeah. I would not be surprised if the Tennessee Titans let this thing run to the very end and then announce the trade, and the clock will reset for 10 more minutes.
As long as they don't take
because
OJ
there's definitely.
Howard.
Oh, go ahead.
As long as they don't take OJ Howard, I'm fine with it. Just hoping he falls all the way to 21.
So let's talk a little bit, Bryce. I want to, as we're kind of watching this stuff play out, I want you to talk a little bit about the tight end article you put out recently. I'm for the Lions and a little bit of Lions specific talk, but there was a really interesting article on who the Lions might take and why a tight end in the first round is not absolutely crazy. And I think the reaction from many was, well, it was
GTFO.
polarized for sure. It was either you're crazy or, hey, thanks for having the courage to write that. Why don't you talk about your thinking on that?
Well, I mean, everybody knows that Lions have, and I quantified it in the article, the Lions have spent the most draft capital on tight ends since 2009, and it's not particularly close. So it's not a popular idea to say the Lions could go tight end. But in the article, I kind of talked about how adding a tight end can improve the offense in more ways than just the tight end spot. You know, Eric Ebron, I wrote an article that before that kind of talked about how, you know, Ebron gets a bad rap because of his draft position and all that. But basically what I'm thinking is if you can get a guy that can block and catch, you improve the offense in a bunch of ways. Because one, you can move Ebron to more of a wide receiver role, which is really what he was drafted to be.
More of the Jimmy Graham role that we have envisioned him being drafted in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even when Mayhew drafted him at the time, and I quote this in the article, I'm trying to find it, but he said something to the effect, okay, here it is. Mayhew said this: he's that kind of player that we can play a lot more 12 personnel with 2 tight end packages. Pettigrew will be on the line wide, and this guy will be split out the way Jimmy Graham was used. He can really be like a third receiver for us.
And I mean, that was, in my opinion, that was a major failing of the Lombardi offense was failing to find a way to use Ebron in that way to begin with. Now, granted, with issues with Pettigrew staying on the field, it was difficult for them to manage it, but they from day one that Ebron got on the field, they were misusing him, and
that's the guy who
I don't even
fought
understand
to get him,
why Lombardi.
That's the guy who fought to get him drafted, right? And he didn't even know how to use him. That's the most
fought to
frustrating
get him
part.
drafted, and so that was the whole thing was absolutely confusing and a clear indicator that Joe Lombardi had no idea what he was doing.
Sorry, guys,
So.
I have to do this. This is from the Bears subreddit from Sean, and he brought this in, and this is just an absolutely perfect quote from the Bears sub. Trubisky might be good, but strategically, this appears to be Matt Millen level retarded.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really
that's from a Bears fan.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Now we're still sitting in a really interesting position because the guy that was expected to go number 2 overall, or number 2 or number 3 overall, was Jamal Adams, the safety, is still on the board at number 5 here for the Titans. But the Titans have been widely, looked at as maybe taking Mike Williams, the wide receiver, because that's where their needs are, not necessarily on the defensive side of the ball. But they have to take a look at Jamal Adams. I mean, he's, he was considered one of the top 3, players in the draft in terms of talent. So what the Titans do here could really make things weird, because you don't get another, team really looking at the defense there until you get down to the Chargers, and who knows what they'll do, having already seen one quarterback off the field. It's possible Jamal Adams could fall to the Panthers, and good Lord, that defense with another, absolute stud in the secondary could really be a problem.
Yep. And so I don't know if it's quite a retort, but a great question from Paul S. From the live chat. As Lions fans, how does it feel to be the standard for incompetence? I was like, it's so much better. I can actually laugh about it. And it was a long, hard road. Those years. I mean, I'll tell you a good story. I moved to LA from Detroit the year, the off season before the Lions did the 0-16 year. And I still had my faith in my team, and I had Cowboys fans, Bears fans that I worked with, a couple of Cowboys fans, and they were all talking smack. I'm like, no, man, we got it this year. We're doing good. Everything's gonna be great. Yada yada yada. And we went 0-16, and I was so angry that I canceled the Sunday ticket. I was mad as hell at this time. I was never gonna watch football again. And as the off season after that year went on, I kind of rationalized my way through it, and it has been a tough road since then. I mean, look, in the late 70s, I used to watch the Lions on a little black and white TV with my brother, and we'd be a cassette recorder, and we'd do play-by-play calls with the volume down on the TV and stuff. I've been watching them for years, and that was probably the lowest point after that season, being out here alone with no other Lions fans to talk to, and just seeing that shit show happen was really, really hard to take. So now having that in the rearview mirror and kind of being able to look up and see success going forward for this team, I relish the moments that I can laugh at the likes of the Bears and the other division rivals, because it's just been, I've been the bottom on a prison rape train for a long time.
Oh God. It looks like the Titans pick is coming in right this second. Yep. After we get a little bit into that, I have some comparison between the 2017 Bears and the 2012 Browns in terms of what they gave up to move one spot in the first round. So I'll get to that in a little bit here.
Here it is.
Courtesy of Skepticism is Survival. He helped me out there. So.
All right, Corey Davis from
Western
oh my God. Michigan. Wow.
Ooh, that was not expected at all. No. Corey Davis was mocked to the Lions a lot. We thought for sure Mike Williams was going to be the first wide receiver off the board. So the shocks in this draft have already started rolling in here.
Yes.
Two big surprises early on.
Congratulations to the Western Michigan Broncos. Has a Western Michigan football player ever been drafted that high?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody will have to look at it. Somebody look it up and tell us in the live thread what the answer is there. This is the guy that I mentioned. He's a big body outside receiver, which is good. He's got wide receiver one, potential here, but he's also, he's considered kind of a focus drop type guy. He doesn't necessarily have the top end speed. He could, he's got a little bit of bust potential. I don't expect he'll be a complete bust, but he's got, if you're watching you can see he's got the run after the catch abilities. But this seems like a reach for him.
Yep.
So I've got it up. There was one Western Michigan player taken in the first round. It was by the Texans, 27th overall, Jason Babin in 2004. Here's interesting. There were in 2011, there were 2 Western Michigan alums on the Lions team. Can you guys name them?
No.
Well, no. What do you
Tony
think?
Scheffler and Lou Delmas.
Wow. Well.
Lou Delmas was a second rounder.
Yeah. Wow. Brain freeze. So, all right, let's take a look at this really quick. We've got the Jets on the clock. 5:50 left until their pick. It's been surprising already. Go ahead and jump into your piece. I'm gonna do about 5 more minutes of Bryce, and then we'll go deep on draft stuff, and we'll.
That's about all anybody can handle anyway. So.
Yeah. And we'll like I said, this is courtesy of Skepticism and Survival. He looked this stuff up for me. But the Bears to move from 3 to 2 gave up the number 3, the 67th, which is the 3rd round, the 111th, which I think that's the 5th round, and a 2018 3rd round. That's a pretty big haul to move up one spot. The 2012 Browns moved from 4 up to 3 with the Vikings and gave up the 4, obviously, the 118, the 139, and the 211. So the Browns actually gave up less significantly less in 2012 to move up from the 4 to the 3 than the Bears gave up to move from the 3 to the 2.
Yeah, if you're being compared to Matt Millen and you're doing worse than the Browns did in 2012, you're not. You're not.
I
off
said
to a
the
hot start.
111th. Sorry, I said the 111th was the 5th. It's the 4th. Skepticism and survival is keeping me honest over here.
Better.
So I just really quick want to do a quick report out from the Bears subreddit. They have a draft thread as the number one sticky spot, but from there, the next four, Mitch Trubisky reaction mega thread, and it's tagged holy fucking shit. The next thread is boo. The one after that is the fire pace thread, and then the one after that is suicide watch thread.
Oh God, now I feel bad.
Oh, Bears! I do feel bad.
If we made it through 2008 and Matt Millen, you can survive. Mitch Trubisky. So.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So that's a quick look into.
Doesn't mean we're not going to laugh at you, because we are going to laugh at you. But.
I'm going to do a quick Titans reaction look here. Let's see what we got going on in the Titans thread after their pick.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see, because I'm wondering if they'll be. I can't imagine they're going to be overly excited with the pick, but.
Nope. Let's see. So first off, you got 3.5 minutes left for the Jets before they pick. And really not a whole lot here, other than the highest thing is they're expecting a trade pick. Let me see what their comments are on the pick itself. Woohoo, I'm dead, best day ever, let's go, all right, woo, no matter what, all hail.
I'm surprised they're so excited. I mean, I guess they're happy that they got a potential number one wide receiver.
Yeah, they got somebody for that wonderful quarterback of theirs. Go ahead, man.
I hate to interrupt, guys. This is from Ian Rappaport on Twitter. Apparently, Cleveland is trying to trade for Kirk Cousins currently.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Wow.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
What a night. What a night already.
That could actually make them, that could bounce the Bears up from being like probably a bottom 5 team to like a bottom 10 team this year.
Oh, I
don't think the Browns were that bad.
No,
like everybody was telling me last year they're going to go 0-16, 0-16. I was just like, I have seen 0-16. The Browns are not bad enough to do that. Like they can't accomplish.
No, but they weren't better than a bottom tier team either. So
no, not at all. No, but I will.
I'd rather be the Browns right now than the 49ers. That said, the 49ers here just pulled this stunt. I'd almost rather be the Browns than the Bears. So
yeah, absolutely. I would rather be the Browns than the Bears right now. No question at all. We got someone saying the Jets got Adams. We'll see what happens here.
I look like because they made a little bit of a snafu on the ESPN coverage. They're not supposed to do this anymore, but they showed Jamal Adams on the phone. They're not supposed to do that anymore because it's a giveaway on the picks. But it looked like they showed him on the phone all excited. So yeah, it's almost certain that he's the pick for the Jets, and they screwed that up. Everyone was complaining a few years because all the picks were leaking about like 2 minutes before they actually hit on TV, leaking to Twitter. So everybody so there was no real suspense, and so hope that was probably not intentional that they did that, but
man, what a good time. Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, who would have thought that the network that just shit canned over 100 good writers and analysts would bumble something?
Right, might have made a mistake, right?
Yeah, that's really something. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, this I gotta say this has been an interesting draft already, and I love it because it's always exciting. And the pick is in for the Jets right now. It isn't quite gas mask bong worthy, but this is a pretty good draft, I have to say so far. They could make a draft day movie out of this draft so far if things.
Speaking of
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of draft day snafus, the whole Gary, well, not exactly draft day, but the Gary on Conley thing. Ian Rappaport reported that somebody, and I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but he reported that a team considering him in the first round made him take a polygraph test and he passed.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm not actually surprised by that, but it's interesting nonetheless. All right, Jets are coming in, and not surprisingly, they're booing.
And
they'll boo Goodell. They'll boo Goodell, and then they'll boo the pick. Although I don't think they can boo the pick this year. I mean, Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Jamal
they got a
Adams.
steal there. They got a steal there that he fell that far.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily their biggest need, but like that's big for them.
Yep. And I have. Go ahead.
They were mocked as one of the primary landing places for OJ Howard. So that also makes things interesting on that front.
Yeah.
To push the tight end situation back a little bit.
All right. Hey, Bryce, we're going to let you ride, man. We're going to get back into some draft coverage here, some other stuff. A lot going on. We got Dan coming up here in about, we're going to see if we can get him like 5 or 10 after. Another one of the DetroitLionsPodcast.com writers. But I really appreciate what you've done for us, bud. You've got some pretty good takes, really sound thinking in the articles you're writing. And you guys, I look, of course I'm biased, and I'm not gonna say I'm not, but you check out some of the stuff we're putting out at DetroitLionsPodcast.com, and I think you're going to be pretty impressed with the writing, especially as Lions fans. And Bryce has some pretty sound thinking and some pretty good takes behind what he's writing for us.
It's out there sometimes, but it's never disingenuous. When I'm, like you guys said on the podcast the other night, when I'm wrong, I really just am truly an idiot. So.
Right.
But the thing is,
we're not trying to fake you out here.
Yeah, no, and it's not that kind of, go to the trough and do the same thing everybody else is doing. You take some time and you think about things differently, and you break it apart and you look at different facets, and that's really good. That shows a lot of creativity, and there's a lot of quality what you do, and you can definitely support some of the things. Like you said, it's out there sometimes, but if you don't think differently, you're not thinking. So anyway, thanks a lot, Bryce.
Thanks for having you, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. Be good. All right, that was Bryce Rossler. And
now,
I've got a couple things. When the next pick comes in, I'm actually going to play Goodell making the pick. I got it going on here. So we'll add his voice to the show and let him join us, and maybe we'll catch some of the boos as well.
Are you playing it right now?
No. When he makes the pick, my friend.
Oh. I was confused. I thought maybe you'd recorded something. Sorry. This pick for the Chargers is maybe the most. I don't have any idea what they're gonna do. Situation that we've encountered so far. They've been mocked Christian McCaffrey. In instances when they've been mocked Jonathan Allen. In instances where Solomon Thomas or Jamal Adams fell, they went there. I really don't know what they're gonna do. They're a huge mystery. They could shock us with another quarterback pick. Unlikely, but it could happen. I don't know what to predict for them other than
then you end up
if I would say maybe I'm leaning towards Jonathan Allen, the defensive end, for them.
Sure.
Is likely, but I really don't know.
Yeah,
this will be interesting.
There is a lot to think about here. This is really scrambled. I don't know that any mock drafts right now are valid anymore.
Yeah, they're just basically thrown out the window because I mean the Jets taking Jamal Adams at least kind of took out all the blue chippers on defense, so that makes it that simplifies things a little bit, but at the same time we're still in a situation. Malik Hooker, Jonathan Allen, and I mean, it wouldn't be surprised to see Hassan Reddick soon, and Marshawn Lattimore, Reuben Foster could even.
I've got a specific question about the Chargers because everyone knows, and it's straight up that Philip Rivers is going to be leaving. Does it make sense to look now when you're sitting here and only one quarterback is off the board? Does it make sense now to take the guy that you're going to develop behind him for when Philip Rivers leaves?
It's a question
because you don't want to put a rookie
really
out there. A lot of times you don't want to
you
just throw the rookie on the field. So sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but
no,
there's a lot of thinking on this, right?
It really depends on how they feel about Philip Rivers and how Philip Rivers feels, and whether or not they think that he's going to want to stick around. And if they don't think so, then it makes sense. Mahomes, I think it is really considered a bit of a development case. Like he's got good potential, but he's not ready to go right now. And I could be getting that mixed up with Watson, but I think it's Mahomes that is considered more of a sit him for a year and then see what happens kind of situation. So if they were going to take a quarterback, I would suspect that would be the one. But at the same time, like for all we know, behind the scenes, Philip Rivers says, I'm playing for 5 more years. So that could be the case, and we just don't know. In which case, we could see anything here.
Yeah.
There isn't a.
Pick is in.
Yeah.
Still not making it, but the pick is in. So yeah, you're right.
Everything's
up in the air at this point. The way things have been playing out, and it's really hard to speculate. And look, we're not the guys on the NFL Network or ESPN. They're not paying us to just stand there and bullshit right now. They have no better idea than we do about what's going on right now for the picks, because it is a complete cluster bomb. Nobody knows what's happening.
They have nicer suits than I do, but.
Oh, I don't know about that. Until we get to the bathing suit competition case, and then you've got them beat.
There we go.
Oh, man. Bolo ties are mandatory. All right, let's see. Picks in. They're working on it. Now, help me out here, because I don't remember, and I haven't been watching quite closely enough with all these different screens going on in the background. Once the pick is in, the clock starts on the next team, right?
Yeah. So the clock is already running on Carolina.
Yep.
Right now, as soon as that, Carolina, they're showing the clock in the background right now. I could see the Panthers have 8.5 minutes on their clock, so that does help speed things up a little bit, I guess. Things are going maybe a little bit faster than expected, but not by much.
Sure.
So we're still probably looking at around 9:30 for the Lions pick, but
10:30
anything can happen if the picks start rolling in fast. Who knows? Obviously, we've seen both scenarios where things take forever and things don't. The Lions obviously took 2 seconds to make the Ebron pick, which was part of the criticism of that pick, because they could have waited and seen if anybody was interested in trading up, which was unlikely, but they could have at least found out.
Yep.
So, I mean, we've seen teams take the full 8 minutes or the full 10 minutes. We've seen teams take a full 5 seconds. So,
for sure. Okay, so
there have been times we've seen times in the past where the picks get backed up. But
the Los Angeles Chargers select Mike Williams,
wide receiver. That is a little bit of a surprise to me. I mean, the talent is there. Absolutely, the talent is worth taking right there. They've got Keenan Allen when he's healthy, but he's not usually healthy. Antonio Gates is still around, but obviously he's a shell of what he used to be. So I guess I shouldn't really be surprised at all. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe when you take a wide receiver at number 7 overall, it's a sign that Philip Rivers is going to stick around for a few more years. Maybe.
And
that's speculative.
For sure. And you got to be damn happy to be moving to San Diego. What a great place to live. I don't know if there's a better town to live in, where all the football teams are. You may not win a Super Bowl
in LA,
there.
Right?
No. Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. It just went from great to somebody's always in your way. God damn it.
I said San Diego too, didn't I? So,
what's the difference?
I'm so used. We're gonna someday we'll get used to saying the Los Angeles Chargers, probably right around the time they move somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh God, I feel like such a dope. All right, there we go. Another wide receiver. What happened to the run on quarterbacks? I mean, I'm not seeing that.
It could still be coming here. I mean, it won't be surprising to see if depending on what the Browns are trying to do with trade, it won't be surprising to see them take one at number 12, which would be the second one off the board, which means that the third one would actually be in play potentially for a if somebody was going to trade up that to the Lions pick at 21. That's the only likely scenario where the Lions might end up trading down.
Yep.
I don't want to say I say likely, but it's not even likely. But it's the only realistic probably option that might happen as far as the Lions trading down.
Yep, for sure. Jim Y, winner of the old "What Would You Do for Lions" hat. He's got a good question. So is this good for us, pushing down the better defensive players? And I have to say, yes, it is. We're seeing a lot, well, not a lot, but we're seeing quarterbacks, wide receivers, safeties. 2 defensive ends are off the board, but we didn't expect to get those anyway. The more of these wideouts and running backs and so on that we can see go off the board, the much better.
Yeah, it won't be a surprise here if the Panthers pick up Christian McCaffrey either.
Right.
The running back. So
that's actually a guy that I had going to them. I'm a big fan of McCaffrey. I hate to see him go there. I would love to have him on my team. All right, so we're pick is in for the Panthers. They were pretty quick about it. They had about 5 minutes still to go, and when I see Mr. Goodell coming on stage, I will pot him up on the noisemaker, and we'll see how that goes. But
perfect.
So far, exciting draft. We had a chance here to catch our breath. We've got a. There's a thread.
I'm gonna have to go get another beer here pretty quick.
Yeah. How about Tell you what. Why don't you do that? I tell you guys what. For some of you have your ad blockers on, and if you turn those off, we'd really appreciate it for this. But after this pick comes in, we're gonna run a quick commercial. He's gonna run and get a beer, and I'm going to shut you down on Skype, and I'll call you right back after that case because I just want.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a problem with taking calls.
I'll let you know when I get back here too. So
Yeah, sounds good, buddy.
I'll shoot you a text.
Wunderbar, alles in Ordnung, mein
Yeah,
Freund.
Skep was making fun of me for calling the Chargers San Diego too. So
No, come on, Skep.
we're not gonna live that one down easy. We're gonna have to bite that one a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. There's a total thread, a meltdown thread going on. I just monitoring the Chicago Bears subreddit, and where does it go? It was called out in the live chat from Lucas. LOL, thread in the bear, and it's a special "We Are the Lions Now" thread.
Yeah, I'm a little bit limited at the moment. Just so you're aware, my phone decided to take this moment to update. So I'll have to probably communicate with you through Skype and Skep. If you're listening, I won't be able to respond to you for a few minutes here while it does its thing.
Yep. Here comes the Goodell. Let's hear what they say. A lot of booze, loving it.
Tomorrow night, we will be joined by Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year award winners from around the league.
Okay, I don't need to hear that. We'll wait till he gets into actually making the pick here before we pot him back up. But
well, I don't have anything else to say. You may as well pop him up.
Okay, we'll get the Goodell going here. God, I love how they treat him.
To make the Panthers selection, we are honored to have with us.
At least they're not throwing batteries yet.
2014 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year.
He said yet.
Thomas Davis.
They're gonna wear him out on the MP3 players listening to us first.
It's extremely an honor.
Thomas Davis is a really good player.
And represent the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. Cannot thank the NFL and Nationwide enough for allowing me to do this tonight. And with that said, with the 8th pick in the 2017
I wish we had Thomas Davis.
NFL draft,
I'm so jealous of the Panthers
Christian
linebacking
McCaffrey.
core.
Christian McCaffrey, there you go.
Running back. I think he called him a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening, but I mean, he's a bit of a hybrid.
Yep.
He's kind of a Swiss Army knife type player.
Yep, for sure. All right, hey guys, we're gonna break really quick. We're gonna throw an ad out for those of you guys that can see an ad. We're gonna do a little bit of tech stuff, and Case is gonna get a beer in the background. Give us 30 seconds or a minute. We're gonna be right back, and we'll hit this coverage hard. We just gotta fix a little bit of this technical stuff, and in the meantime, if you're running an ad blocker, just turn it off really quick. Maybe click on an ad, or at least see this ad that we're gonna play for you. Okay, we'll be right back, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be right with you. All right, firing some stuff back up. I think that ad should be over. This back end stuff is kind of funny on this, and it's the first time we're doing this with YouTube as our delivery mechanism. We used to do what's it called? a thing called Mixler, which worked, but it didn't give us quite the flexibility we wanted on the way things should have worked. And so anyway, this gives us a lot more flexibility, and we're working out this technology for the first time here. And as we get into the preseason and some of the live shows and stuff, you guys are going to see some real big, I think, pretty cool changes to what we're doing. But again, we're just feeling up the technology right now because we wouldn't want to feel some of that shit up. So I'm going to do something really quick in the background. I'm going to hit the play ad. Some of you guys aren't going to hear the ad, and I'm just muting my mic while I do this, but you may hear some noises or whatever while I do this. But thanks for bearing with, and I will literally be back, and we're not going to run ads for a little while. Then after that, this is just to help us out. Cincinnati is up, and they got 4:30 left on the clock, and they still haven't picked. We'll be right back. All right. We are now waiting for Case to get back into the phone, or into the call, the Skype call, whatever it's called. It's funny how this thing has to get set up. Skype is a little funky. I've tried a couple other programs, tried Hangouts and some other things, and they just haven't worked how we want them to. They haven't given us the quality. And this isn't quite there either. I've been trying to look at maybe some options for increased, just spending some money for something good to give you a real good direct line and high quality over the internet, but it's just not working. So anyway, for those of you, how about that, huh? For those of you who didn't get the ad, don't worry about it. That's fine. You maybe have an ad blocker as part of your browser or on the phone or whatever. It doesn't, the way they say it is based on some complex algorithms or whatever other crap. Some people will see an ad and some won't. Typically, in those cases, what we would do is you just hear us kind of in the background doing the shit we do when we take a break. But had to do some tech stuff in the background, so I silenced everything. But we're good now. I think we just need Case to come back from his quick break. He may be taking a leak too. We'll see. But once we get him back at his thing, we'll be going. We got the pick in for the Bengals, waiting for Mr. Goodell, Mr. Boodell to jump back on, and we'll hit it here. So lots of exciting. Of course, Andy Dalton talking on the ESPN here. That's pretty interesting. Also, we're going to have our guy Dan. Dan is going to join us. He's one of the writers from the podcast website. Season ticket holder, former pro wrestler. He's got a lot to offer. We're going to have a good chat with him as well. So a lot of good stuff going on here. And the Riz will join us very shortly. There was a question about that earlier. I'm sorry I didn't get to that. The Riz is coming after around the Texans. He's thinking like around round 10 he'll be able to join us. The Riz, that is. And he'll be on from after that. So we'll be good to go to there. There's a lot to talk about when he gets here for sure. I'd love to hear what he has to say about the whole Bears thing and that kind of stunner at the beginning. Case, how you doing, my man? Good to have you back. Oh, your mic isn't micing. So pick is in.
Oh, there we go.
There you are. Pick is in for the Bengals. We're waiting for Mr. Goodell
to
come in. I can hear you now.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I really do think that Christian McCaffrey is going to be a solid pick for the Panthers. He makes them their top running back was Jonathan Stewart, who turned 31, I think, this offseason. And Jonathan Stewart's a fine and good player, but to try to make him the workhorse for them was going to be really a difficult thing. This really diversifies their offense quite a bit. I think they were desperate for a real running back talent, and to have somebody that they can use in the pass game also helps them a great deal, as their lack of receiving options was a problem last year. It also takes some pressure off Cam Newton to run the ball, which could elongate his career significantly by if they take this opportunity now to move him away from running the ball, which, I mean, every year he's been in the league, I think he's run a little bit less, or at least the last few years.
Sure.
Because he keeps getting banged up, and he's not going to last much longer if they keep doing that. So
it's not the kind of, here comes Goodell. Let's roll Goodell up. Let's get him a little noisy, and we'll see what he has to say. Here comes the Bengals selection right from the jaws of Mr. Booman.
Pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select John Ross.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Three wide receivers in the top 10.
Wow.
Okay, and I can't really necessarily argue with that. They do have a need at wide receiver ever since they lost Marvin Jones to us and God, what's his face to the Falcons, Mohamed Sanu.
Right.
They've had terrible receiver depth, and so this was absolutely a need for them. It's a little surprising to have seen Ross go that early, but I guess I'm not shocked by the position they picked, even if I'm a little shocked at the reach.
Well, and with the talk of Cousins going to the Browns, this is interesting to say the least. All right, we got Dan Lewis, writer from the Detroit Lions podcast, on the line. How you doing, Dan?
Good, man. How about you?
Doing great. Great to have you on, bud.
Yeah, I'm glad to be on. This is pretty exciting so far, huh?
Yeah. This has been a draft to again. It's just behind the gas mask bong, just behind the gas mask bong draft.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to.
You're never going to forget that, are you?
I can't. It's because I went out the same way, and
yeah, that's why you didn't get selected in the NFL draft.
Well, if you want to talk about your gas mask bong, I'll take the easy way out and say the Bears might have been hitting that tonight.
Oh yeah, smoking something.
Yeah, they were. That is messy, and I hate to keep hitting on them, but wow, this is crazy. This is crazy, and I got to tell you, all these guys, Jim was right. All these offensive players going this early. I mean, there's still 11 picks coming in here.
What did I say? I said that I was expecting like 7 out of the top 10 to be defense. I couldn't have been more wrong. I think it's going to be the absolute opposite here.
Yep.
There's only been 3 defensive players taken so far out of the 9.
It seems to bode well for us, but I don't know, man. I just got a gut feeling. I feel like we're going to go offense and really piss a lot of people off.
Well, I might agree with that, except that the run on offense early here means that I think that some of the offense that'll get taken in the teens will take some of the options that the Lions might have been looking at away. Like, for example, now I won't be surprised to see Njoku go before the Lions pick.
See, and here's where I'm gonna contradict you, because I think that there's gonna be a switch that gets flipped, and you're gonna see GM say, "Holy cow, I'm getting all kinds of defensive value right now because
we're going to see a run on defensive players here soon."
And
sure.
that might just leave Njoku in the worst possible spot for the Detroit Lions.
But also, hey, the Kansas City is on the clock here. They are one of the potential places that could take a QB for the record here.
Yep. Now here's the thing. Now, and this has been wacky, and the way this is running has been pretty crazy. I am anti Njoku, but should I change my mind because of the way these players fall, that he's just absolutely going to be the right guy based on the guys we really think should go being gone?
I mean, the thing you've got to take into account when you look at Njoku, and again, it's almost similar to Ebron, at least in my opinion, but GMs aren't going to take this into account. Bob Quinn's not going to look at this, but without a doubt that if we take Njoku tonight, that he is going to be, public enemy number 1 to a large portion of the Detroit Lions fan base, and it's unwarranted, But we've seen what it did to Ebron, and I mean I saw an article earlier today where somebody had caught up with him at a charity event. I want to say for Campbell's Soup or something like that. And he seemed, obviously you didn't hear what he said. It was just text, but he seemed pretty upset that it was even, in the conversation that we take a tight end in the first round. So, I mean, there's pluses and minuses, and I just don't know what the answer is.
I'm trying to figure out right this second. If anybody saw the details on it, I'm trying to figure out what the Chiefs gave up to move up to the number 10 pick. My thought is that they wouldn't have moved up to that pick unless they weren't going to take a tight QB.
Right.
So,
and that pick is in right now
because they moved up from the 27th pick to the number 10 pick, which is a pretty significant move. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what they gave up here.
If anybody knows the answer to